In this video, I'm going to reveal whatever happened to Adrian Zmed, the actor who played Officer Vince Romano on the classic ABC cop drama from the early 80s, T.J. Hooker. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi folks, my name is Dave Sundstrom, and I like to think of myself as something of a pop culture historian, especially when it comes to music, movies, and TV. Simply put, I love talking about this stuff. Alright, with that said, let's get rolling.
You are talking to the South Philly Flash.
Meet Romano, a rookie trying to learn the rules.
He killed a man. I brought him to trial, and he's strutting out of here like a peacock.
But with a style all his own.
I mean, this is my thing.
Chicago's own Adrian Zmed is Romano, part of T.J. Hooker's force.
Sort of like a security blanket, huh?
T.J. Hooker, weeknights at 10:30 on 50.
Sounds like something I should handle alone.
Beginning in 1982, T.J. Hooker ran for 5 seasons, 4 of them on ABC, and then the last one on CBS. The show, which starred William Shatner as a tough police sergeant tasked with training a group of rookie cops, was a lot of fun to watch, especially as the primary cast grew to include Heather Locklear and James Darren. When T.J. Hooker debuted, I must admit that this show might have been the very first time that I ever took notice of Adrian. Truthfully, in my head, I compared the partnership of Hooker and Romano to my all-time favorite crime-fighting duo, Batman and Robin. I mean, just look at Adrian in this photo. He looks exactly like Dick Grayson. When the show moved to CBS for its final season, Adrian bowed out. Part of the reason for his decision might have been the fact that he was riding a wave of momentum from his co-starring gig in the Tom Hanks flick Bachelor Party, and I've got to believe that Adrian felt like maybe the grass would be a bit greener if he left William, Heather, and James behind. It's hard to blame Adrian. While his fame may have felt a bit overnight to me, by that time, the feller had been working hard in the entertainment industry for about a decade. Many of you may remember him from Grease 2, which I actually didn't see until years later. But now that I have got to say that I think that it is a better film than the original. And even before that, Adrian had been making guest appearances on a bunch of different TV shows. This is an image from an appearance on the ABC crime drama Starsky and Hutch. Also, around the same time as Adrian's departure from T.J. Hooker, he released an album that really isn't all that bad. You can listen to it here on YouTube, and if I remember correctly, for those of you who are fans of guitarist Rick Derringer, you can find some of his work on that album. From everything that I've read, I believe that Adrian felt like he had learned as much as he could from working with Shatner. The two actors had a great working relationship, and I'm pretty sure that while Shatner was disappointed that Adrian wasn't sticking around, he was supportive of Adrian's decision. So what happened to Adrian Zmed? Truthfully, until a few days ago when I started doing research for this video, I had no idea what he was up to. I'd lost track of him after T.J. Hooker. And that was even though Adrian continued to find work making guest appearances on TV shows like Murder, She Wrote and Empty Nest. But you know what? I wasn't the only one who somehow lost track of Adrian. In fact, The Simpsons hammered home that point in an episode from 2002 titled The Old Man and the Key. In a song called Ode to Branson, a choir gleefully sings, "We're the performers you thought were dead, like Bonnie Franklin and Adrian Zmed." But I have got to say that The Simpsons were 100% wrong about this guy who just happens to be one of the hardest working entertainers around. When TV appearances dried up, Adrian took that as a sign that he needed to return to the work that he had always loved the most, live theater. Whether it was Carole King's Blood Brothers or the 2004 revival of Grease, Adrian was a dynamo on stage and captivated audiences with performances that simply wouldn't have been possible on the small or large screen. It was at that time that he also got involved in causes that he was extremely passionate about, like Actors for Autism and Dogs Deserve Better, which aims to free dogs from being chained up in yards or anywhere else for that matter. More recently, Adrian has continued to find the stage to be a sanctuary for his soul. The article pictured above talks about Middletown, a play that Adrian has starred in with his colleague from Grease, Didi Khan, as well as Sandy Duncan and the legendary Don Mose. Yep, good old Ralph Malph from Happy Days. One side benefit from returning to the stage is the fact that his two sons, Zachary and Dylan, got to hang around a dad that was constantly singing. The two brothers now headline an Everly Brothers tribute show. They've said that they got the bug for music of that era while traveling with their father when he was doing Grease. They were constantly hearing 50s music playing before and after the show, and after a while it just kind of rubbed off on them, and before you knew it, the two brothers were singing songs in perfect harmony. Getting back to T.J. Hooker for a moment, Adrian has said that he still remains great friends with William Shatner, and in a fairly recent interview, he confided that the two of them have talked casually about finding a way to return to the characters of Hooker and Romano. Truthfully, I'd love to see it happen, but I kind of doubt that it will. Alright, that's it. Anyone remember that during the mid-80s, Adrian took over for Denny Terrio during the final season or two of Dance Fever? I've seen a few clips out there of Adrian and the Dance Fever dancers, and I've got to say, he is every bit as good as the professional dancers that supported him on that show. Okay, now it's your turn. Please share your memories in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you clicked on that little thumbs up icon, and what the heck, why not even subscribe to the channel? I talk about music, movies, and mostly TV from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.